morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mickey's big hand is on the 10 or the 12. Hard to tell time anymore without you. If you'd please stand. Miss Harriet? Let freedom reign. Our fathers, God, to the author of liberty, to thee we sing. Long may our land be bright with freedom's holy light. From every mountain side, praise God our King. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're going to change the format a little bit this morning. We're going to have some bittersweet things this morning. The first one is Miss Pam, who was a member of this council when she passed away, although she was inactive. She was in the health center and been there for quite a while. But I would like to ask for a moment of silence in remembrance of her. Amen. Miss Linda?
Good morning. This morning it's my pleasure to introduce to you our fitness coordinator, Meredith Swain. And Meredith was born in Orlando, and she attended college at Flagler and St. Augustine and completed her bachelor's degree in psychology at the University of Central Florida. But knowing that she didn't want to pursue a career in psychology, she found herself working at a local YMCA as fitness instructor and a swim teacher. And here she was able to share her passion for dance and physical activity. She moved to Tallahassee in 2012 and continued to teach dance and fitness at local studios while she homeschooled her daughter. Prior to coming to Westminster Oaks, Meredith worked at a mental health clinic where she was fitness instructor and a group counselor. She holds several fitness certifications in the following areas: personal training, she's a nutrition coach, a senior fitness specialist, a U.S. track and field running coach, and a member of the Silver Sneakers. In her free time, she loves to be out of doors and can be seen running the beautiful Tallahassee trails while training for long-distance running events. I just hope she doesn't get us into any long-distance running events. Please, Meredith. She likes to knit and crochet, and she likes to travel and play card games. And she has been our wellness coordinator here since the end of October. So we're certainly glad to have you, Meredith.
Good morning. My face is red because I was just teaching, so my apologies. All right, so I was asked to do a thought for the day, a reflection, and I was kind of just thinking about my experience over the weekend. I was able to attend the Westminster Games, and it was a wonderful experience, and it just reminded me of how much of a family we are here at Westminster, and not just on our campus, but all of our properties throughout the state of Florida. And so as we conclude Black History Month, I thought that a poem by Maya Angelou would really just kind of celebrate that feeling. and this is called Human Family. I note the obvious differences in the human family. Some of us are serious, some thrive on comedy. Some declare their lives are lived as true profundity, and others claim they really live the real reality. The variety of our skin tones can confuse, bemuse, delight. Brown and pink and beige and purple, tan and blue and white. I've sailed upon the 7 seas and stopped in every land. I've seen the wonders of the world, not yet one common man. I know 10,000 women called Jane and Mary Jane, and I've not seen any two who really were the same. Mirror twins are different, although their features jibe, and lovers think quite different thoughts while lying side by side. We love and lose in China, we weep on England's moors, and laugh and moan in Guinea, and thrive on Spanish shores. We seek success in Finland, are born and die in Maine. In minor ways we differ, in major we're the same. I note the obvious differences between each sort and type, but we are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike.
Ms. Meredith, thank you for that. And we like to think that we really are a community here and a family. And the longer you stay here, the more that becomes obvious. When I talked about the juxtaposition of sad and glad, I'm now glad to pass this on to Miss Jane to introduce somebody.
Well, because of that sad information that we received earlier, and we cherish Pam here, and she was part of our family, and she left a vacancy here on the Residence Council Board. And so the board is recommending a replacement, and her name is Sandy Sarton. And Sandy is a resident of Canopy Oaks, and we're happy that she's going to be part of our board. Just for you to get to know a little bit about Sandy, she began her 30-year career with the state of Florida as an internal auditor with the Department of Education. Sandy, in 1981, she was recruited as a budget analyst under Governor Bob Graham in the Office of Policy and Budget. She spent 25 years in the governor's office working for 4 governors. She retired in January of 2007 after serving as deputy budget director under Governor Jeb Bush. Sandy worked closely with the legislative appropriations staff, directors, state agency administrative directors, and budget staff. On the legalities of state, Sandy is considered one of the state experts on the legalities of state budget processes and was responsible for meeting constitutional and statutory budgetary requirements in the governor's office. After retirement, now this is very special, she was conferred a life membership in the National Association of State Budget Officers for her contributions to state budgeting and distinguished services. So we are thrilled that Sandy has joined and accepted this appointment to the board. So, Sandy, thank you.
Yeah, I've gotten ahead of myself. There's Miss Sandy. Miss Sandra?
Another Sandra. We are more alike than unalike. We have 2 couples to introduce to you today. And the first couple is Marcy Praetorius and Parker Collins, and they've been married over 41 years. They have a variety of degrees and careers and so forth, but they are concentrating more on what's happening now with them. So Marcy, as a Leon County Master Gardener, volunteer for over 11 years. She loves gardening and birding and genealogy and is pretty well adapted to that. And here they are. She posts her bird sightings on eBird and posts nature photos as well. She helps ID photos of others on iNaturalist. And she would like to get involved with the Bluebird Group and Healthcare Committee, and also to volunteer in the library to start. She wants to do more than that. And then Parker is involved with barbershop harmony singing as a lead with the Capitol Chordsmen. He's also in a quartet called The Uncalled For. Love that name. Joined the Westminster Barbershop Chorus and Barbershop Dozen. He's a member of the Parkinson's Boxing Group, and listen to this, he swims 50 laps 3 times a week at an outdoor city pool year-round. Both Marcy and Parker are interested in reading and nature photography, and they're very excited to be a part of this community and this family, and looking forward to meeting more residents and becoming more involved, and you can find out more about them. And next we have another couple. We have Denny O'Brien and Frank Seidman. Just a minute, I'm in trouble. Oak South, 123 is where Marcy and Parker live. I tend to forget to say that. Okay, so, and now we have Denny and Frank, who are living at Carefree Cove, 2408. They married in Tallahassee, and they've been married almost 48 years. Denny's degree is in psychology. He received that at FSU. She received that at FSU. She has a law degree from American University in D.C. She has served as an attorney for the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation and the Florida Department of Health. She is a consumer member on the Board of Psychology. Frank's degree is in electrical engineering from the University of Miami, but he did his graduate work at FSU in economics. They both love FSU very much, and they created and endowed the O'Brien Seidman Scholarship in Psychology at FSU. Following college, Frank was an officer in the U.S. Army. Thank you for your service, Frank. And he also, in his career, the Florida Public Service Commission, and he's served as Electricity Consumer Resource Council also in D.C., and he joined a management and regulatory consultants firm and was president of that until his retirement. He's active in retirement in the Florida Outreach Center for the Blind and also in the Lions Club, both in Tallahassee and West Palm Beach. Now, they have a blended family of 5 children, 12 grandchildren, 2 3/4 great-grandchildren, 3/4. They retired to North Palm Beach to be near part of that family and attend grandchildren's activities and sports and so forth. Well, now those grandchildren are adults, and since the family has scattered all over the country, they have come back to Tallahassee, where they have many friends, some of which are here at Westminster. They've traveled all 7 continents and all 50 states. And Denny loves bridge, and she likes mahjong, and she's already found fellow players within 2 weeks of coming to Westminster. They've been here a little longer than that, but first 2 weeks. So they, yes, like I said, on Carefree Cove, and they'd love to meet you. Thank you, and we're so glad to have you.
I forgot something when I was up here, because we have another day of celebration. Today is Lanny's birthday. And we'd like to celebrate that by, Harriet's going to play Happy Birthday, and if everyone would join singing Happy Birthday to Lanny. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lanny. Happy birthday to you. Anyone else celebrating a birthday? Stand up. No.
Well, thank you all. As we here as a group in our age, everyone is one to be celebrated now. Every day above ground's a good day. Miss Sandy, you're here just in time because I'm going to ask Miss Darlene for the minutes.
Yes. Would like to ask the council to approve the minutes of the January 22nd meeting of the council.
Richard moves, second. Second, Julian. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Marvin, Treasurer's Report. Okay, we have completed 82% of our fiscal year. Our budgeted income was $38,235. Total income was $28,901.32. Percent of budgeted income achieved 75.6%. Expenses, our budgeted expenses are $49,492. Total expenses, $13,984.35. And the percent of budgeted expenses expended, 28.3%. As far as accounts are concerned, total amount is $145,977.12. The general fund balance is $79,728.73. The employee gift fund account balance is $31,018.04. And our savings account balance is $35,230.35. February 2024 end of month report will be posted on IWLife first week in March. Any questions? Thank you. I accept a motion by the council to accept them. Richard, a second. Second, Sharon. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Miss Marie and Jim?
Thank you, Lanny. First, I'd like to thank the members of the nominating committee, Linda Stavley, Bill Gill. I don't see Joe Lama, but he's here. There he is. And Jim and I co-chaired the committee. The charge to our committee, according to the bylaws, is to submit one name for each vacancy on the council. And the bylaws allow for 9 members, including officers. The secretary and treasurer may be voting, which includes them as one of the 9, or they may be non-voting, In that case, they are not one of the 9. And that'll be clearer in a minute. And you have just heard the council fill the vacancy held by Pam. This year, that gave 3 vacancies. And those 3 vacancies happen to be officers: vice president, treasurer, and secretary. The criteria that were used is that nominees must be a contract resident for 2 years or more. We take into consideration neighborhood distribution, a broad vision of the community in order to be able to represent all the residents, people in independent living, but also people who live in assisted living and who live in the Bertrand Health Center and in the Memory Center, and people who have leadership skills. There were many nominees. The committee actually reviewed 40 residents in consideration of 3 positions. And we want to thank everybody for your interest in resident governance. I think it's important, and you've seen how important this council is. And so the nominees for 2024, their position ends in 2026, actually. I made a mistake on the handout, Darlene. For vice president and president-elect, Robin Gray. Is Robin here? I looked around, didn't see her. Okay. For treasurer, Gary Stillwell, and he is not here, I don't think. And for secretary, Darlene Oosteroff. Now, this is a bit unique because Darlene has been treasurer of the council, but she has been non-voting. Secretary. Pardon me, I said treasurer. I meant to say secretary. Thank you. I misspoke. And so this past year, she has held a non-voting position, but she has decided that she will continue as secretary, but she would like to continue as a voting member. So she is nominee. So this concludes the report of the nominating committee. Just for the newbies who are here today and who have come over the past year, let me just say that in the long history of the resident council that I think started in 1986, there has never been an election.
Let me go.
No,
You go.
stand here and Lanny thing.
All right, please.
Step back.
Yeah, got you.
Well, following that, in accordance with the bylaws, which we tried to adhere to, the floor is now open for nominations from the residents. Hearing none, the nominees are declared elected by acclamation. And I do want to thank the nominating committee and those that put their names in, all 40 of them, that this organization, the Residents Council and the greater Westminster Oaks community, is run by volunteers. And we, and all those that do volunteer across all the different things in this community, really contribute to the quality of life here. So if you want to help with that, please consider volunteering for any of the types of positions, some of which are more obvious, like council, but there's all kinds of others that really help this place function. It's very important. So please keep that in mind. And thank you. And thank you to the nominating committee. And some more of the happy and glad and not so happy. Mr. Julian?
Thank you, Lanny, and I'm going to take this in reverse order, if you will indulge me. Charlie Nam, can you step forward? Good morning. If there was ever a man for all seasons at Westminster Oaks, it would be Dr. Charlie Nam. Lanny just mentioned volunteering. Charlie has been here for approximately 12 years and hit the ground running as a volunteer. He has served as a member of the Residence Council. He currently serves as interim chairman of our Veterans Committee, and that is particularly fitting because Charlie tried to enlist at age 17 in the U.S. Army. They said, come back at age 18, which he promptly did, and he spent 2 years fighting in the European theater in World War II. Thank you, Charlie. Charlie has been Westminster Oaks contact with the Strozier Library at FSU, and I think perhaps Marie worked with you on that. But in any event, if you're seeking a volume in our library and we don't have it, thanks to the efforts of Charlie and others, you can go online, check out the book at the FSU Strozier Library, and it will be delivered to you here at Westminster Oaks. Another of his volunteer activities. He manages 4 websites, and his hobbies and interests are just endless. He is probably the most charming statistician that you will ever meet. Let's see here. I was reviewing prior issues of the Clarion, and in the September 12, 2022 issue, Charlie posted a notice saying that he was completing almost 3 years of service as editor-in-chief. He was taking on new and additional volunteer activities, and he was looking for a successor editor. Now, mind you, this was in September of 2022. That notice was posted, and unfortunately, Charlie's telephone did not ring off of the hook. So he took matters into his own hands, and he consulted with friends in New York City, Barcelona, Spain, London, Paris, Buenos Aires, and to a person they all said, Charlie, you've got the perfect candidate right in your own backyard and one of your neighbors on Diplomacy Circle, Miss Lynn Brady. So the search came to an end. Charlie and Bob Parker and I met with Lynn and immediately realized that she would be a splendid successor to Charlie. And I've been gazing out here. My eyes aren't so good, but there's Lynn. All right, well, come on up, Lynn. You don't have to say anything. But Charlie, just as a token of our appreciation, the Residence Council wants to express our gratitude to you for serving as the founding editor-in-chief of the Council Clarion and present this gift certificate to you. And although he's not here, let's also give a shout out to Gary Stillwell, who is the production editor of the Clarion, and Ann Thistle. Are you here, Ann? Bunch of no-shows today. Ann is the copy editor, so if you see her and or Gary, please thank them. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you. And Lynn, you don't have to say a word, but the floor is yours if you want to. Lynn Brady was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. She came to FSU, fell in love with school and the community, later fell in love with Patrick, married, and they have been here ever since. You graduated from FSU and received a degree in education. Okay. Lynn began work at the Florida Bar Association in the publications department and worked there for 37 and a half years.
Started when I was 12.
Absolutely. She can speak, can't she? She retired, unfortunately lost Patrick to cancer, but Lynn retired in 2014, has been here at Westminster Oaks with her 2 cats for the past 3 years, lives on Diplomacy Circle, and the Residence Council is so pleased that you have agreed to serve as editor-in-chief of the Council-Clarion. Okay, thank you.
I will say one thing. I believe Mr. Nam is going to be a very hard, if not impossible, act to follow. So
Well,
I'll give it my best shot.
thank you, Lynn. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie and Lynn. And again, you can see the value of volunteers here. The Clarion is the resident council's way to communicate with the residents. The WOW is the administration's. So there is a difference, so that, keep that in mind. This is just going to be brief. The redevelopment committee of the resident council has limited use when they're not energized by Orlando for a pending project, like the building of the Memory Care Center or something like that. So we had some talent there that we wanted to put to work. And so Mr. Hugh Wheeler, Hugh, are you here? Another one, agreed with a bit of arm twisting to look into long-range planning. And what we're looking for here, there was actually an idea from one of our sister properties, is to what amenities are you looking for in the 7 to 10 year time frame looking forward? Now, for you futurists, this is an opportunity to kick in with some of those things that most of us haven't thought about yet. But this is not the near-term thing about fixing a fence or cutting a tree or some of the other things that the maintenance committee and more of some of our other committee grounds deals with. But this is something looking further down the road, like full expansion of the bistro where they can serve meals independent from the dining room, pushing out that wall there for more seating, other things like that. So if you see Hugh or any member of what was the redevelopment committee, or you can send them to me and I'll get them to them, ideas that they're looking for, looking into the future, if you consider, keep that in mind. Thank you. And now, Ms. Beth?
Good morning, everybody. It has been a while since our fall training, so I thought it was time to come and talk to y'all a little bit about sparklers. We have new residents since that last training, and so they may not be familiar. But I think probably everybody in this room has in some way been touched by dementia. A loved one, a good friend, family member, someone. And so that's why we have sparklers here at Westminster Oaks. The idea for sparklers originated with our own Greta Reed, and she and Candace McKibben, who a lot of y'all are familiar with, actually started sparklers with the idea of making our residents who have dementia, giving them some more quality to their lives, to bring a sparkle to their lives by training residents in dementia and how to communicate and engage with our residents who have dementia. And as the disease progresses, it becomes so isolating because, excuse me, they lose their ability to communicate or communicate verbally. But as they lose that skill, there are other ways to communicate with them and get them engaged in activities. And that's what sparklers learn. And we go through a training. It's a 2-part training. Dr. Lisa Granville, who many of you are familiar with, she's right here with FSU Senior Health in our clinic resource center downstairs. And she is with the FSU College of Medicine in geriatrics. And she has both personal and professional knowledge of dementia, and she does part of our training. Candace McKibben, Reverend Candace McKibben with the Tallahassee Fellowship Church does part of our training. And then there are some other parts that deal with volunteerism. But the training is in 2 parts. The first day is Tuesday, March 19th. The second part is Thursday, March 21st. Both days, the training is from 1 to 3 o'clock, and the meeting is in the fireside room, both of those days. If you're interested in learning more about dementia, becoming a sparkler, when you go through the training, we can then be matched with a resident in the memory care center who has dementia, or you can become what we call a floater who goes over there to the memory care center and engages with small groups of residents, and you learn how to pull them into different activities. So you can take either route, but even if you don't want to do either of those, if you want the information for yourself, you may have a loved one that you're caring for, or a friend that you visit with frequently who's not in the memory care center, but you need that knowledge of dementia, you're welcome to take the training. The more people in our community who know about dementia and understand dementia, the better it's going to be for our whole community and all of our residents. So, you'll notice the display boards over on the side there. You can look at those and see some of the activities that Sparklers have been involved with residents in. And there are also brochures over there that have a form inside. And if you do want to take the training or find out more about it, please fill out that form, and you can leave it at the front desk here with Lillian. She has a big manila envelope with Sparklers written on it, and you can leave it in that, and then I'll pick those up and I can contact you. But we do ask that everybody who takes the training fill out one of these so we can be sure to provide enough materials for everybody. So, hope, one thing about Sparklers, we're all residents, so, some of us age out of Sparklers before others, and so we're always looking for new Sparklers to come in. So please give it some thought, and if you're interested, take the training at least find out more about dementia so you can be a better friend to all of our residents who have dementia. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Beth. I will say that I went through that training last year. I have no intention, don't have the right personality type to be a sparkler to a buddy, but the training was well worth it. Just to know what it is, how to recognize it, and how to deal with it with people that have it that you're going to bump into, especially in this community. Because, as Beth said, we're all aging out, and something's going to catch up with us sooner or later. So it's well worth the knowledge. And now we'll have our executive assistant director, Ms. Vicki, who's sitting in today from Ms. Shannon. Ms. Vicki?
Good morning. All right. As he said, Shannon's out. Many of you may know that. She anticipates being back next Monday. So if you do need anything in the meantime, if there's anything I can assist you with, please feel free to reach out, extension 225, or come by to see me. I'll be glad to assist you. And you may also see her door is shut. Lydia is no longer working with us. So in the meantime, Liana from the business office is helping out with some of those duties until we hire a new admin assistant for Shannon. So just so that you're in the loop on what's going on there, and if you see the door closed. Again, Liana and I both are glad to assist you if you need something. Also, thank you to everyone who got all your information in for the ad valorem. Liana worked very hard on that as well and contacting residents. So she was able to gather all the information to meet that upcoming deadline and to get everything turned in. So thank you again. Every time it rolls around, we know it's a push to get all the information for everybody to be able to submit that. Let's see. A couple of updates. You're probably aware we've been working on a project to get keyless door access for memory care residents for their rooms. A lot of residents asked for this, and we wanted to make this happen as soon as possible. It is in the works. We are waiting on the vendor to give us a date for installation to move forward with that, but it is being funded through the foundation. But it's happening because we really had a focus from residents wanting this to happen, and we're persistent to make sure that it's going to go through. So that'll be coming soon, and this just adds a level of sense of security for residents there and their belongings. So only people can access their room is the resident themselves, or there will be some fobs maybe for family members to go in or the staff to go in, but they can feel comfortable if they're in their room, somebody can't just walk in. And unfortunately, in that setting, other residents wouldn't know not to go in someone's room, as you see, but for those, it will provide that privacy and sense of security. So we're looking forward to getting that project completed. You may have noticed in certain areas, and we also put it on our weekly memo, that we did install 10 AEDs, the automatic external defibrillators, throughout the campus. This was a request by residents as well, our campus as other campuses. They have been installed, they've been set up, and are ready for use. There will be more information about education, use of them. There is a quick reference guide inside the box. Feel free to look at it if you'd like to, but there's a process for getting these set up through our emergency management system. So our maintenance director has already reached out to them. They will pinpoint them on a map. It's encouraged that anyone take the CPR and AED courses to know how to use them. The machine does talk to you, so it walks you through should you ever find yourself in that position where you needed to use it. And again, there's a quick reference guide there, so they're located throughout campus. We did have 2 on campus already in memory care and assisted living in the Perry Center, but now others have been added. So more to come on that. And let's see, want to welcome today our new dining service director. Few residents did get to meet him this morning. He was in the dining room this morning during breakfast. We have toured around a little bit. So his name is Paul Davidson. So we're very excited to have him on campus today and starting his first day. And he's looking forward to meeting all of you and working through dining services. I know that's a hot topic in a lot of ways. So, you know, we definitely will be working through some different things with him. He's, you know, been brought up to speed on certain issues and concerns that residents have and team members alike. And he'll be, you know, he's looking forward to a challenge, he said, and is not scared of it. So I hope you get to meet him soon. He will definitely be at Town Hall on the 4th, which is upcoming, but hopefully you'll see him in the dining areas or somewhere before then. Couple of things I did want to bring up about dining. Dining had previously run the country store, has been up until recently. We've had some issues with staffing and unable to be consistent with having someone, you know, purchase the inventory for the store, man the store, you know, price and so on. So I do apologize sincerely that the store has not been open. Kelly Skiba, volunteers director, did inform me that some residents have reached out to her and they're interested in volunteering. Again, as you may know, that this was an area that was operated by residents previously. I think it was before I came here during COVID, maybe, that there was a change made where dining took over that. So we may be looking at moving that back to residents if they're willing to do that. We'll see what assistance is needed from other parties, whether that be dining, volunteers director, myself, or whoever. But just wanted to let you know that we are working to try to resolve this quickly. To get that going. I think there's also been a concern about the dining, especially probably in the evening, meal service, how things are going. I just want to remind people that the pickup time is 4 to 4:30, and what we're finding is the pickup line is running into meal service, so those people that are there in the dining room to dine, the process is slowed down or they are not able to get theirs because people are coming in to do pickup service. So we're kind of looking at how we're going to manage that differently, or, you know, ensuring that people are arriving on time to be able to get that to-go meal if you're going to take it with you. And I think that's all I have for now. Is there any questions I can try to answer for you? Yes, ma'am. They are encouraged to. They are not allowed to use them unless they've had it, where that's not the case for residents. If residents choose to use it, whether they've had CPR and AED training, they are allowed to. However, team members are not. Now, we do require that our nursing and CNA team members, our fitness center, so there's certain team members that it's part of their job requirement is that they have that. We are going to be offering it. We have been offering it to all team members, but certain team members are required to have it. So that's kind of where we're at right now with it. We have let team members know at our recent team member town hall that we were putting the AEDs out, and that we did encourage all of them to do that. And we're looking to get our own certified trainer. Security, someone else asked me that this week too. I wanted to confirm if it's a requirement or not. They are required to have the first aid training, but I want to say CPR too. So, and then they would need, if they didn't have it with the AED, Most classes now, when you get CPR training, you get it AED as part of that training, and the courses we're looking at would include both. So, and that's kind of standard now, but the certification is for 2 years, so someone could have received CPR certification and not had the additional AED training. So, yes. Yes, I mean, as far as which departments or which groups, yes, we can do that. Yes, ma'am. We do have people trained. Oh, I'm sorry, didn't wait on microphones. She was asking if we are looking into having people trained on the Heimlich maneuver, especially for the dining room. And we have had trainings, and I do know that it has, unfortunately, it had to be used in our dining rooms in the past. So people have been trained on it. And we usually have posters too, again, with the procedure, that quick reference guide for that. Yes, ma'am.
I just wondered where the additional locations are of the defibrillator.
I'll see if I can name them for you. So we have them in the lobbies of the garden apartments, Azalea and Chasen. They're on the wall in the lobby area. We have one here in the McGuire Center by the door. We have one in the Floridian dining room, kind of just off from the entrance where you come in, and outside of the clinic downstairs, the Canopy Oaks Fitness Center and the Oak South Fitness Center, Oak South lobby, security car, and there's one more. Not in the health center. The pool house. It's in the pool house. It's part of a clinical policy of some sort that with Westminster and a lot of other places too, they do not have them in the health centers. Assisted living is a requirement. I know. I didn't make the rules. Yes, ma'am, here's a microphone.
I'd like to know if the dining room is a dining room or a cafeteria. It seems to me it's trying to do both at the same time, and it is not working.
And that's part, I think you're speaking of the people going through a line to pick up food, not only for pick up to go, but then pick up to eat in the dining room. It is actually set up for both. You can have seated table. Yes, ma'am. I hear you. Well, we were going to look at that process. I did share that again with the new dining director, and I'll be working with him, and we'll try to come up with a way that works better for everyone. But we do have it set up where people can have that option to either have table service or go through. We will certainly do our best. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. I think as Ms. Vicki mentioned, it's incumbent upon, especially those that choose to do takeout, to make sure that you get in and out during the allotted period so that you don't interfere with your fellow residents, because there is only so much serving staff. So it behooves you to be considerate of your neighbor. Any comments from the council? On your way out that exit door, on the right-hand side of that exit door, back where Ms. Deegan is waving her hand, is the AED that's in this room. So if you familiarize yourself with those locations, if you're interested. Questions from the residents to the council? Hearing none, remind you that the next meeting is the 18th of March. It's the third Monday, I believe. Same time when Mickey's Big Hand is on the 12th. We're adjourned.